Now let's take a quick look at the agenda because we will be joined by Garrett Ainsworth here in a few short seconds. He's president and CEO over at District Metals. They were working on the Tomtebo project out in Sweden. I've been to the project last September. It was great to visit, and looking forward to an update, Garrett. What's happening at Sweden?
Kai, it's great to see you again. I'm actually in Sweden right now.
Perfect, awesome. Well,
Yeah.
then straight from the ground to our audience. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and winter is actually not done with Sweden yet. It just we had about a 20-30 centimeter dump a few days ago.
Well, it snowed yesterday in North Vancouver, so it wasn't that great either. Not 20-30 centimeters though, but it snowed. So
Wow,
thanks for joining us. Really looking forward to seeing more and run us through it.
Definitely sounds good. All right, so I'll just start this off, fairly high level here. I mean, the team at District Metals, we're very technically focused, have a lot of experience raising capital. Many of the team members on District have had a lot of success through mineral discoveries or putting projects into production. We're focused in the Bergslagen District in south central Sweden. We really love Sweden as a jurisdiction. It's very got good government backing and community support. Well, that's what we've seen from all of our projects, and we're focused on our Tomtebo property. That's what we're actually drilling right now. Just started a few days ago, and this is an advanced stage exploration project with a number of historical polymetallic mines on it. It sits right in between two world-class polymetallic mines. Bleden's Garpenberg is to the southeast, and the historic Falun mine is to the northwest of Tomtebo. So last year, we did 2 phases of drilling at Tomtebo, and we got a number of wide intervals of high-grade polymetallic mineralization that we reported on last year, and actually I think the last one that we reported on was in February of this year, and really pushing things along towards the resource estimation stage. And we really like Sweden so much that late last year we picked up 2 additional advanced stage exploration properties, and they're within the Bergslagen, within 40 kilometers of Tomtebo, and that's Bergslagen and Sfarzo. So yeah, as I said, currently we just started drilling Tomtebo a few days ago. Then when the drilling is being completed here, we will move the drill rig to our new property, Bergslagen, which is 40 kilometers away, and that should be sometime in May. And we're also looking to drill our Bakar property on northern Vancouver Island, but I won't talk too much about that. It's not a core holding, it's a joint venture, but we have put news out on it if you want to find more details on that. So currently we have about 2.6 million in cash, 19 million market cap, 87 million shares out. And I won't talk too much in detail about the team, but I mean, from the management board advisors, we cover the full skills matrix. That's a big part of what brings shareholder value. I will say though that our 2 secret weapons in Sweden are Hein Rat, our country manager, who worked for over a decade with Boliden, very much focused on polymetallic deposits in the Bergslagen, has executed beautifully on our past drill programs, continues to do so. Rodney Allen, again, with Boliden for more than 2 decades, I believe, and played a significant role in taking the Garpenberg mine from near closure to now being a tier 1 asset for Boliden. So the share structure, this has been an absolutely key component of everything that we do at District Metals. So we have a number of very large funds, institutions on our share registry. Myself, I own over 2.6 million shares that I've purchased anywhere from 12 to over 40 cents on the market or through private placements. And for those of you that don't know too much about Sweden as a jurisdiction, it's got a very long history. The Garpenberg mine, 25 kilometers southeast of our Tomtebo project, that's actually as mining indications back to 400 BC. That's operated by Boliden, quite a big player in Sweden and in Scandinavia. Lundin Mining is operating the Zinkgruvan mine. And then up in the gold line, you've got Agnico Eagle, Barceli Minerals, Mandalay Resources, and then way up in the north, you've got LCAB that's mining iron. So for Sweden, it's really a powerhouse of metals for Europe, and I think that's going to become even more so now with all the sanctions that are flying around towards Russia. But some other good points about Sweden: it's got a very low corporate tax rate, very highly supportive government agencies, and good support from the communities that we're in. And again, it's very important to note that there's a big push to get metals sourced locally in Scandinavia. There's 5 smelters in the region. And part of this push are initiatives like the Northvolt battery factory up at Luleå and the H2 Green steel manufacturer way up in the north that really want to source their metals locally. So, I mean, this is really the big reason why we're in the Bergslagen. This is where you come to find the giant polymetallic deposits. So, I mean, if you have a VMS and it's 5 million tons anywhere in the world, you're doing fairly well. But I mean, Falun is like 6 times that amount almost. And then, with grades of 3% copper, 3 grams per ton gold, and then all the other metals. Garpenberg mine, I mean, the tonnage being approached there is almost of that of a porphyry, except this is very good grades in the silver and zinc, plus all the other metals. And then Zinkgruvan, very good in the zinc and silver as well. And Zinkgruvan and Garpenberg, they're mining it down at the 1400 meter level, and they're doing this very profitably. So we got the numbers in from Boliden for last year from Garpenberg, and they mined out just over 3 million tons at an in situ value of $278 per ton, using the metal prices below here. At $56 per ton OPEX, it really kind of shows that they're making a lot of money here. And then, very large component of the revenue that they're making does come from precious metals, specifically from silver. And I think a lot of people here feel that silver is headed higher, definitely in the near to mid to possibly long term. So the Tomtebo property, like zooming in on it, the red outline here covers 17 kilometer strike length, 5,100 hectares, contains the Tomtebo mine, the Lovas mine. So much of our work to date has been focused on the Tomtebo mine. There's a lot of potential up at Lovas and also in the middle here with some of these copper showings. We've got the same geology, structure, alteration, mineralization that you see at Falun and at Garpenberg, but the main difference is before we arrived on the scene in June of 2020, it had not seen any modern systematic exploration. So just to get a feel for size and scale of the Garpenberg mine, if you copy and paste it onto the Tomtebo property, you can see that the resources go down to 1,600 meters. It is a behemoth of a deposit. You look at the historic Tomtebo mine, Lovas mine on our property, they go down to about 200 meters. They're open at depth and also along strike. So really it shows how large these systems can get. And I'll just run through some of our drill results from last year, just to kind of prime you up for what's potentially going to be coming from this current drill program. So at the northeast part of the Tomtebo mine complex, there's Oscarsgruvan. We have 3 holes here that return intervals from 6.5 to about 15 meters wide, 7 and 9% zinc equivalent. There's a very good silver component within that zinc equivalent there. But I mean, a real takeaway here was Rodney looked at all this drill core and he said, hey, this looks very similar to what you see at Garpenberg, and it's wide open at depth and also towards the northwest. And a lot of the success that we had last year was at Steffenberg's. So I mean, holes 1, 25, 28, we're seeing intervals of 12 to 30 meters wide with grades of like 11 to almost 15% zinc equivalent. Very high grades. You can see the in situ value per ton almost reaching $1,000 per ton in some of the narrower high grade intervals. So it's very exciting here. It's wide open at depth. This is where we will be following up on in the current drill program, and partially along strike, it's open as well. And you can see in a long section here, this is looking to the northeast. You can see hole 1 was one of the big hit into the massive sulfides. Hole 28 was a very significant interval, and then hole 25. So these are wide open at depth. We'll be drilling down in this area here on step outs that are about 50 meters down dip or down plunge. And then also down at the south end of the Tomtebo mine complex, you've got Goldmesse, very good copper numbers. This really hits home that we have a very large and strong copper feeder zone at Tomtebo. And this is very important because any large polymetallic system in the Bergslagen has an associated copper feeder zone, and we have it here at Tomtebo. And then looking more regionally, so on the far left, this is a southwest portion of the Tomtebo mine, the magnetic survey that we flew back in 2020. We've really highlighted in this black rectangle the Tomtebo mine trend. You can see the Tomtebo mine is associated with the magnetic high. There's a number of other isolated magnetic highs along the trend. Some of them have associated gravity and conductive anomalies. These are very important signatures to polymetallic mineralization, as you can see at Garpenberg. This is what you see associated with the deposits there, and then also at the Falun. So we're going to test one of these mag high targets in the current drill program, but there's many more that require to be tested in the future. So just some details on the current drill program that we're doing at Tomtebo. So we have the drill rig set up right here at P-Tom22-003. We are drill testing this northeast magnetic high target. It's a very similar signature to that of the magnetic high associated with mineralization at Steffenbergs. Another really important point of this target is that we know that we're testing the favorable VMS horizon because we drilled a hole further to the northeast last year, and we were able to tag into that VMS horizon. So we were able to connect Oscarsgruven down here to the to hole 23 that hit the favorable VMS horizon. So we're tagging not only a magnetic high, but also the right lithology, which is absolutely crucial with VMS. And then we'll be drilling 2 holes underneath the Steffenbergs target, looking underneath hole 28, 30 meters of almost 11% zinc equivalent. So yeah, this is going to be wrapped up in early April. We should have assays out in late June, early July, and it's going to be 3 holes in 1,200 meters. And then we will move the drill rig to our Groove Barrier property. So this is located 40 kilometers to the northwest of Tomtebo. I was just out there today walking around. The north zone and the south zone have very strong historical drill results. There's been some bulk test mining that's come out of the south zone. We were really taken by the north zone when we looked at the historical data, because what it really shows, this is a long section looking towards the east, is that you've got continuous mineralization across a strike of 550 meters and down to a depth of 160 meters that's wide open. And this is just low-hanging fruit, and this really came up the ladder very quickly as to we need to follow up here. So we've got mineralization that's wide open at 160 meters. We know these systems go down to 1,600 meters. So we're in a really good spot to start out in here. And we're going to be drill testing underneath like historic hole 11 right over here. That's 6.1 meters of 11% zinc equivalent, stepping out 75 meters down dip from this. So it's going to be a really fun drill program. We'll be starting in early May, and we should wrap that up by early June. I'd say drill results probably be out late July or early August on this one. Then Sfarzo, this is our other advanced exploration stage property that we picked up late last year. It's had some fairly significant production, just over 1 million tons, with grades that are higher than we see at Garpenberg last year. We actually just got a heap of historical data at the southwest of the Sfarzo mine. It shows very significant drill intercepts. We might even be able to move into a mineral resource estimate quite quickly based on the results that we're seeing. At least it'll show us exactly where we need to drill to get there, but there's good continuity. There's some very strong drill intercepts historically here as well. So just to kind of summarize what we're all doing in the first half of what we've done. So Tomtebo, obviously, we completed the downhole EM survey, the whole rock geochemistry that helped us really firm up our drill targets for the current drill program. We're still working on the interpretation of the Sky 10 surveys from Group Barriet and Sfarzo. That should hopefully, we should have news out hopefully in April, potentially May, depending on how this goes. Sfarzo, like I said, we've got a heap of historical data that we're working on right now. And hopefully that'll put us in a position to drill test the property in the second half of the year. Currently drilling Tomtebo. We'll move the drill rig to Group Barriet, and then we'll look to drill Bakar in June, July this year. So that's pretty much it for me, Kai. So any questions, please shoot.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, we'll probably have to ask them in the chat because we are out of time. But like really curious, like drill turnaround time and things like that. Like how many years are you into the current program? You started drilling at Tomtebo, right?
We did. Yeah. News went out on Monday. So we're just just battling through the overburden right now, and just maybe 20 meters into the bedrock. So just really started.
Nice. And the snow you mentioned earlier doesn't have any impact. Like there's not going to be any delay.
No. It's there's pros and cons to snow.
Well, less mud, but it's cold.
Exactly. That's it.
Awesome. All right, Garrett, I got to let you go, but please stay in the chat. I want to follow up with a couple of questions. So in the chat, much appreciated. Good to see you. Greetings to Sweden, and we're moving on.